Draymond, you received some criticism across.
I've been waiting on y'all to ask me. I sat here for 15 minutes and not been.
Yeah, man, you received some criticism across the sports world for some of your comments on women's sports. I just wanted to know if you wanted to revisit that and clarify some of the stuff you've said.
Well, as a man with two daughters, who I don't know what my two daughters will do when I'm finished, when they're adults, as they grow up. I'm not sure what they'll become. And so in saying that, I think what I've said has been extremely misconstrued because I am on their side. What I'm saying here is actually I'm not even going to get into what I'm saying. I am going to get into what I'm saying. What I am saying here is here's what I think can work. And if you go about X, Y, and Z this way, I think this can work. And so let's try it, because that in no way is that saying the women haven't tried X, Y, or Z. They've probably tried what I said they've tried. But we live in a day and age of, everything is driven by the media, by social media. You can pull up anything in 2 seconds and figure out what was said, who said what. But all of those things aren't always reported, so the steps that they could be taking behind closed doors aren't always reported. But what is always reported is such and such said they don't make enough money, such and such said they don't make as much money as men. That is always what's reported. And so what my point is, let's make sure we're driving what is reported. Let's make sure we're driving what is heard. And let's make sure we are asking for whatever it is that can help change what everyone wants to change. And so maybe that's asking more of Nike, to tell more of these stories. Maybe that's asking more of Beats, more of, all of these companies to tell these stories in order to help drive that bottom line. Because if we can help drive and move that bottom line, there is no coming back. There's no way for anyone to say, well, you guys don't deserve this money because of this number. Like, no, what can we do to help move this number to here so that the women can capitalize on all of this growth? And that's kind of where I stand. I saw what Megan Rapinoe said, and she said it's unfortunate of his view, that's his view. And, I think it's unfortunate that she thinks it's unfortunate that that's my view, because at the end of the day, what Megan wants and what I want is the same thing. And if she believes that doing something a certain way gets her to the end goal, I'm all for that. And if I believe doing something a certain way gets to the end goal, I'm all for that, And so if we can both do something to move the needle to get to the end goal, great. I have no complaints with whatever it is that she wants to do or any woman athlete wants to do, or anyone that's trying to help drive their cause and what they want to be done. It doesn't really matter to me how you get there. What does matter to me is that we get there. And so, I'm not going to sit here and condemn her comments back to me or what she's done. I'm in full support of what she's doing to help get to that end goal, because that's what I want to see happen. I want to help get to that end goal. And, just like the San Antonio Spurs don't play the same style of basketball as the Golden State Warriors, but the San Antonio Spurs has won championships and the Golden State Warriors have won championships. We didn't get there the same way, but we all got there. And so if there is a situation of where she believed the way I think they can get there, it's not right, I have no complaints about that. I have no complaints about the way she wants to get there. No complaints at all. I just want to get there, and I want to help get there. I don't think I'm the smartest person in the world. I don't think I am not only smart, not only am I not the smartest person in the world, I don't think I am smart enough to drive this whole thing. Number one, because I don't have the time to drive the whole thing. But I would love to align myself with people that are smart enough that can drive this thing, and I can help, as I said before. And so, that's just kind of my view. Whatever helps us get to the end goal helps us get to the end goal. I also read where she said, for him to add those players. Well, I added those players because I did want them to see what I was saying, because I do want to have those conversations with them, because I do want to help them get to their end goal. And so, yes, I did add those women. And, I know, like I said, a lot of what I said in a tweet, well, you can't really make out my full position from my tweets, which was intentional, because I don't want you to make out my full position from a tweet. What I want to do is I want to raise awareness with my tweets. I want to have these conversations to help get over here to the side of good, to the side that we're all trying to get to the side that we want to see these women get. Because I understand what Candace Parker trains with the same people I train with as far from a strength and conditioning standpoint. We do some of the same things. I know what my body go through to get ready for a season, and so I understand and what they go through. And then you add on a whole nother set of what women have to go through naturally, just being women, on top of all the work that you have to go through in order to get ready for a season. I understand that, and I think they should be rewarded and compensated for that as well. So I want to help with that. And, not at all times, you're never going to just sit at a table with people who all think like you, who think the exact same thing that you think. And if you do sit at a table with someone who thinks the exact same thing you think, you're probably at the wrong table, because you can't get much done if everybody thinks the same way. There has to be someone to challenge X or Y in order to get to Z. If we all think everything should be the same, we get the same opinion. We all do the same thing, and so I am encouraged to sit at a table where she may think a little differently than me. That's fine. That's okay. We all don't have to think the same thing or take the same path to get to a result. That's just not realistic. We all don't have to take that path. So if her path that she's going to take is different to get to the result, or the path that I want to help take is different to get to the result, as long as we're both working towards the same result, I have no issues with that. So it was very encouraging, to see that she did have an opinion. I don't take offense to her opinion at all. I don't take offense to anyone's opinion on the situation. Everyone has their own opinion. I still believe, in order to move the needle, there are certain things that need to be done and certain people that need to be called on in order to help move that needle. And it's not just women athletes, it's not just men athletes. It's also calling on other women to support women's sports more as well. There's a ton of things that needs to go on in order to move that needle. When you look at all the things that make up, the BRI, local TV deal, national TV deal, sponsorship, all of these things that make up the BRI, how do we drive all of those things for the women? Because that's what's going to help close the gap. And so we have to focus on all of those things in order to close this gap. And so that's my point of view. And, I'm never open to her. I'm always open to her point of view or to anyone else's point of view. And I'm always open to having those conversations. But until those conversations can be had amongst each other and, a different point of view not be looked at as, oh man, that's so wrong, how do we ever close the gap? How do we ever get to where we all want to get to? Because those different points of view, her point of view can get us to here. My point of view can get us to here. And if that's all getting us to the same goal, I'm all for that. It doesn't have to be done the same way.
Right, and just a quick follow-up, you kind of walked me into it. Obviously, Twitter, a lot can get lost in translation. It can be a cesspool, who are we kidding? But, some of the people you added and the people, I guess, who have criticized you, you are willing to have conversations with them to get to that end goal that you say you're on the same side as.
100%. Like I said, I'm not, I don't think they're wrong for their criticism. That's their belief. And I think everyone is entitled to their belief. I have no issues with that. I'm also not a 2-year-old that's going to say, oh, well, they think my opinion is wrong. I'm done and they can figure it out. Like, no, they can think my opinion is wrong. And that's great. That'll probably make for a better conversation. That'll probably help us sit down and move more than just me coming in and say, hey, well, you think this? All right, fine, let's do that. That makes for a better conversation, which makes for better growth. The more conversation we can have, the more growth we can have. And so, I'm totally fine with that. Like I said, I don't take offense to their criticism or, what they believe at all. My beliefs are my beliefs, and my goal is my goal. My goal doesn't change because they believe the way I think it can be done is wrong. My goal doesn't change. My goal at the end of the day is still to help close that gap. And however I can go about doing that, I want to help do that. And whoever thinks the way I may think about going to do that is wrong, they're entitled to that. I have no complaints about them thinking it's wrong, but I want to do what I can to help get to that end goal. And like I said, as long as we're working towards the end goal, it doesn't really matter to me how we get there or, who think what's right to get there. Let's just get there. And if that's us aligning and doing it, great. If that's her working on her thing and I work on what I want to work on and we're doing it, great. It doesn't have to be all under the same opinion. We all don't have to have this. We all don't have to agree on what someone else thinks in order to get to the end goal. What I know what her end goal is. Her end goal is equal pay. I know that. I understand that. Guess what my end goal is? My end goal, it's not quite equal pay, because to say equal pay, I think that's like this broad thing of like, we just want to get equal. That's not my end goal. My end goal is to drive all of these different ways to create revenue to get to there. And that's what I want to do. That's what I want to see. I want to help with that. And, my stand, my position is the same. I do think they don't make enough. I think they're underpaid. And I think they deserve more. Now, what can we do to get there? My position is still my position. Whatever we can do to get there, we can get there. We can work towards getting there. That's my position.
Cool.
All right. Y'all have a good one.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate that.